are entering into the Nirahara Samyama, second phase, fourth day. Last 4 days, hundreds of devotees and disciples around the world are without food but with energy, living. So I have decided from today, next 3 days, I am also going to be in Nirahara to support all you guys. Last 3 days, to give you guys inspiration. Of course, I lived more than 9 years practically Nirahara. Maybe once a week I used to eat. Because once a week only I will be able to go to the nearest village. See, the nearest village, I will have to walk and get the roti and dal and come back. Used to eat once a week. But if I am traveling in the trains and all, I used to get bhiksha. I lived quite a lot of time. One nice thing with my body, it never asked me food or water or anything. I tell you, it's very difficult to bow down to your own body because all of you have so much of hatred to your body. You feel your body is such a big bondage, headache, torturing you. But whenever I go to our devotee's house, or you can see very clearly our centers, there will be my photograph also. Without any reservation, I will put flowers and show arti, show camphor, worship my own photograph and my own deity. You may think, what do I think when I do puja to my own deity or my own photograph? I tell you, I have tremendous gratitude to this body for never demanding anything from me, never asking anything from me, giving me such a liberated, comfortable life. So I pay my gratitude to that body, to this body at those moments. When I do puja to my own photograph, when I show the camphor, when I put flower, I remember, oh God, you have given me such a liberated life. Never asked me food, never asked me water. Forget about any other desire. Even the basic patterns, you never asked me. Never asked for basic comforts. It's pleasure to live in such a beautiful body. Even when there was a fracture, no pain. It's not that I was trying to act as if I have no pain. I don't need to also. Really, there was no pain, and it gave me so much of confidence. Wow! Now I don't need to bother about any pain, because the fracture pain is equivalent to death pain. Even if that is not causing any pain, I know for sure my death will not have any pain. Of course, theoretically I know much earlier because of my enlightenment experience. Now this one fracture has given a practical experience. So from today, I am also going to support you guys with Nirahara. Maybe I will take little water and juice, but not any solid food, to support you guys, to give me moral support. There are so many questions related to Nirahara Samyama. I will answer all those questions. First, let's enter into today's satsang. In 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Sannyasa Yoga, 12th verse.
Yukta karma phalam tyaktva shantimapnoti naishtikim ayukta kama karena phale sakto nibadhyate.
Yukta karma phalam tyaktva shantimapnoti naishtikim ayukta kamakarena pale sakto nibatyate. The translation is, one who has had the spiritual experience, having given up the reward for the performance, gains the highest tranquility. But the one who has not had the experience, acting on his own free will, clinging to the reward, becomes bound. I have to tell you this. Yesterday night, I was reading this verse. Usually I read Bhagavad Gita once in a while when I find time. Yesterday night I read this verse. That word, Shantimapnoti naishtikim, very beautiful word. Highest tranquility is achieved. The moment I read that word, I was working with myself. I looked inside. What was the reason for me having highest tranquility? I could see very clearly. The one and only reason I was having highest tranquility was there was no clinging to the reward for the performance. Otherwise, I would have become mad long before. Please understand. Only one quality which is responsible for my peace and joy, still my ability to continue my activities and life, is the tranquility. Why the tranquility? Is just because there is no reward for my performance. I am not bound. I am not clinging to the reward for my performance. Yesterday, one media, very low level, third rate, the yellow journalist type of media, they came and videographed our Annadana hall. They never showed 2,000 people eating, but they show the garbage in one corner. Because their mind is like a dirty garbage, the garbage attracts only garbage. And not only that, one of our brahmacharini was talking to some organizer. So some dust fell on her eyes and she was wiping the eyes to clean the dust. Immediately they are showing this visual and saying, all the girls, ladies who are in the Adinam are crying to people who are coming. They are crying to the visitors. And that brahmacharini is taking class to all the devotees, all the people who are coming here. See what all ways they misrepresent. But I don't feel I need any reward for the performance. I laugh at these fellows. I only see the dirt, the garbage which they carry in their brain in the name of mind. I tell you, reward, clinging for reward takes away your life from yourself. It is like you handing over your decision-making authority to others. Does anyone want to hand over their freedom to others? No. But the moment you have the clinging for reward, very subtly you hand over your reins to others. You say, you drive me, as you want I will run. clinging for rewards. Please understand. Clinging for rewards is nothing but handing over your freedom to others. Psychologically becoming slave of others. Your thought flow, current flow, trend flow destroys your very core, your very source. Whoever you expect should reward you, they drive you. Man who pays the piper decides the tune. Same way, man from whom you expect reward, people from whom you expect reward, they decide the tune in which you are going to dance, the tune in which you are going to work, the tune in which you are going to perform your actions. The one who has had the spiritual experience, having given up the reward for the performance, gains the highest tranquility. But the one who has not had the experience, acting on his own free will, clinging to the reward, becomes bound. Becoming bound, becoming entangled. That's the greatest suffering any human beings carry. Please understand. One who has had the spiritual experience, having given up the reward for the performance, gains the highest tranquility. Decide not to get rewarded by anybody who is expecting reward in their life. Just take a simple decision. I will not beg from beggars. I will not expect any reward from the fellows who are also expecting reward from others. Decide. If I have to be rewarded, I will be rewarded only from a person who does not need any reward from anybody. If I have to receive, I will receive from the king. I will not beg from beggars. It is like a stealing from begging bowl. How much you will steal? 3 paise and 1.5 annas. I know. Some of my classmates used to steal from the blind beggars in the temple. I used to hate stealing from the beginning. I can't tolerate stealing. Even recently, in my Salem ashram, we have a huge mango grove. We have leased all the mango trees to somebody. When I went, see, mango and groundnut, the moment you see, you will feel like eating. Whoever you may be, mango and groundnut, the moment you see, you will feel like eating. So my brahmacharis, my sena, the moment they saw the mango, Swamiji, we can. I said, no, we have already leased these trees. They said, who will ask you, Swamiji? It is our property. I said, no, we have leased. If you pluck the mango from the tree, without asking the person who has taken the lease, it is stealing. Then they convinced me, Swamiji, inside your quarters there is 2 trees. That tree we have not leased. That is our own tree. We have not leased those trees. I said, all right, then you can get it from that trees. Somehow from the beginning, I can't stand stealing. statement from Isavasya Upanishad. Tena tyaktena vunjita va. There's a beautiful word. Ishavashyamidagam sarvam yatkincha jagatyan jagat tena tyaktena vunjita va kritam means whatever exists is divine. Enjoy everything by sacrificing your individual possessions and identity. Do not steal anything from the cosmos. It's a very beautiful statement. It got embedded into my system. From the beginning, I can't tolerate stealing. I tell you, if you are expecting a reward from ordinary people who are also in turn expecting rewards from others, you are begging from a beggar. You are begging from a beggar. I tell you, don't do that mistake. Do not do that mistake of begging from a beggar. No. Decide. A reward for performance restricts you. A reward for performance restricts you. Beautifully Bhagavan says, Nibadhyade becomes bound. Live by giving up the reward for performance, by the non-attachment to any reward for your performance. The essence, sacred secret from this verse, as long as you have the attachment to the reward for performance, your life is going to be in hell. Your life is going to be in suffering. When you give up the reward for performance, when the tranquility happens in you, you achieve the highest tranquility. The last attachment human beings suffer with is the reward, clinging to the reward. That's the last attachment with which human beings suffer. I tell you, give up the reward for the performance. You will be into the highest tranquility. You will be into the highest peace. This time when they kept me in prison illegally, of course, last time also they arrested illegally only. This time when they kept me in the prison illegally, few of the prisoners came and spoke to me. They said, Swamiji, not only prison, the suffering, psychological suffering, we don't know how to get out of it. I said, understand, basic thing. Anyhow, by putting you in the prison, they are trying to steal your few years of your life. Now, do one thing, in these few years, decide not to suffer and build the body through yoga and proper thinking, expand your longevity by 20 years over. You have compensated for what they are doing to you. They said, this looks a nice calculation, nice logic. I tell you, 7 years you guys have nothing else to do here. So, all you need to do yoga, heavy yoga, morning and evening. Prepare your body, prepare your mind, live a happy life, live a blissful life. So naturally your longevity will be expanded. Finally, in the end calculation, you win the game. Actually, they were shocked by the new perspective I gave, and they said, yes, I told, anything happens to you, don't give up your tranquility. Don't give up your peace. Anything can be renounced for peace. Peace should not be renounced for anything. Yukta karma balam tyaktva shantim apnoti naishtigim ayukta kamagarena balas sakto nibatyate. One who has had the spiritual experience, having given up the reward for the performance, gains the highest tranquility. But the one who has not had the experience, acting on his own free will, clinging to the reward, becomes bound. I tell you, from anybody who expects the reward for performance, you are bound to them. They start driving you. I tell you, all the fellows who try to drive others are crazy, so they will drive you crazy. Any driving is driving crazy. The highest liberation is neither driving nor getting driven. I tell you, I live in that way only. I don't drive anybody, so I don't want to be driven by anybody. I am very clear. When people come and ask me, I tell, all right, I will support you to run, but I can't drive you. Yukta karma balandyaktva shantimapnoti naishtikim ayukta kamagarena phale sakto nivatyate. When I read this sutra yesterday, I felt reading Bhagavad Gita every day should be made as a compulsory for all human beings. Every night before falling asleep, you should read at least few pages of Bhagavad Gita. I tell you, you will bless yourself, you will feel happy for yourself if you can read Bhagavad Gita every day, at least few pages. I learned this habit of reading few pages of sacred scriptures before falling asleep from my grandfather. He used to go to bed around night 12 o'clock. But even at that time, he will sit and chant Jnana Sambandar's Devaram. He can't read English, so he will read only Tamil books. 1 hour he will chant, and nobody in the room can sleep. He used to sleep in the hall. I am very close to him. He is my favorite. I am his pet because I have been given his name. My pre-monastic name is his name. So I will sleep next to him only. Nobody can sleep in the hall. He had a beautiful voice. He will chant the Tirujnana Sambandar and Manikavasagara Devarams and Tiruvasagams. The sacred secrets, the sacred sentiment verses. And after some years, before his passing away, last few years he lost his eyesight, so he can't read. He has trained two of his sons to chant these verses for him. And one nice thing, even my uncles, they went and learned properly to recite these verses for him, and every night they will sit and recite at least 1 hour for him. The little bit of Tamil knowledge I have, the knowledge I have on Devaram, Tiruvasangam, all that I gained from him only, from every night chanting. But I picked up this habit of reading at least some sacred scriptures before going to bed from him. I tell you, read some sacred sentiments or sacred secrets, the spiritual scriptures, something before going to bed. It enriches the quality of consciousness in which you sleep and in which you function and in which you act and in which you flow, which you carry your whole day. The essence, give up the clinging for the reward. I tell you, you may think, oh, I know all these ideas, what is there? No. Your brain needs to be reminded every time, again and again and again. Because forgetfulness is the basic quality of your mind. Reminding yourself again and again with the sacred secrets is the highest spiritual practice. So give up the attachment to the reward, give up the clinging for the reward, radiate tranquility, highest tranquility.
Paramahamsa Nithyananda, a rare living incarnation, is named among the world's 100 most spiritually influential personalities today. Paramahamsa Nithyananda has been placed alongside Dalai Lama, Nelson Mandela, Oprah Winfrey, Paulo Coelho and others by Mind, Body, Spirit, the world's top esoteric magazine from Watkins, London's oldest and largest bookstore. A yogi by birth, he has been expressing his power of enlightenment since birth. He has authored more than 500 books in Tamil and English. Translations of these books are available in 26 languages in Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, Hindi, Sanskrit, Gujarati, Oriya, Bengali, Marathi, French, Malay, Polish, Portuguese, Italian, German, Danish, Spanish, Russian and Chinese. He is also an exemplary speaker with over 10,000 hours of profound life solutions through his discourses. Social services such as Annadan, free medical care, free educational services with ashrams, schools, temples, hospitals established in more than 140 places around the world, offering exceptional services. A powerful spiritual healer who has healed millions of people of diseases from migraine to cancer. A Kriya Yogi who has formulated Kriyas for physical health and mental well-being, benefiting thousands. A living master who offers practical solutions for our everyday problems. He is the founder and spiritual head of Nithyananda Dhyanapeetham, a spiritual powerhouse who has revived the sacred Vedic tradition by establishing Vedic temples in places like Los Angeles, San Jose, Seattle, Toronto, Ohio, Oklahoma, Phoenix, St. Louis, Malaysia, Brazil, Paris, Guadeloupe, Dallas, New York, New Jersey, Atlanta, Calgary, Vancouver, Singapore, and places in India like Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Tiruvannamalai. A spiritual guru for 10 million followers, an incarnation who transmits the highest spiritual energy through initiation, a contemporary yogi who has revived the Vedic science of yoga worldwide through thousands of yoga centers, an adept in Ashtamahasiddhis, mystical yogic powers, who has effortlessly awakened the Kundalini of thousands and graced them with spiritual powers, a dynamic young guru who is an inspiration for thousands of youngsters, India's most watched spiritual guru online, a beacon of spiritual light who has triumphed over the forces of religious terrorism and political persecution. Paramahamsa Nithyananda is an eternal Kalpataru, blessing the world with the boons of material abundance and spiritual enlightenment. He is the 293rd Pontiff of the world's most ancient Hindu organization, Madurai Adinam.
Nithyanandaya swagatam Anandanubhavaswadam Sarvaroga nivarakam Vande papa vinashaktam Nithyanandaya swagatam Nityamuktam nirvikalpam Dhyanaloka pradipakam Vande shanta